Alrighty.
Alright, let's do
How
it.
do we introduce ourselves again? It's been a while.
Has it actually? I'm...
Just
I was going to be like, good morning, Specsavers. Can't speaking.
You should do it.
Hi guys, welcome back. I'm Sam.
I'm Amirza.
And I'm Oya.
And welcome back to the Chat Bam podcast.
Woo! Yay!
And guys, we've got a special guest today. It's Irma.
Yay!
How you feeling?
I'm excited.
You're
I'm so
excited? Oh my god, are you scared?
Yes.
You're scared?
Of what?
No, not scared.
her.
I'm just like a little nervous.
Just with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little
Yeah,
nervous.
your supervisor's
Oh, are you the
interviewing you now.
supervisor? Hey, what's she like at work?
The same.
Oh, really?
The same.
Yeah, the
Is
same.
she
You're like, can't you
authority-
do this? Can't you do
Yeah.
that? You know?
But yeah,
No,
she's
no,
more
no.
authoritative.
We have like a very good team though.
Yeah, yeah. We do.
So with us, it's what you see, what you get at work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's great.
Anyways, guys, don't forget to click on that subscribe button if you're on YouTube, and also subscribe to our Spotify account. We're also on Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts, so check us out there. And make sure you check us out on Instagram as well, because we have been posting recently. Mirza and Oya have been working hard to work around our new branding as well. So yeah, how's that going for you guys?
Yeah, pretty good.
fun.
Just playing
Shout
around.
out to Canva.
Shout out to Canva.
Canva.
Helped us a lot. And also shout out to Sam again
Sam,
for
yeah.
all the
Not
assets.
me again. Not me. The other Sam.
Samantha Hillman.
Samantha
Yeah.
Hillman. Right. Shout out to you. Anyway, we'll get on to our introductions. So we first met at work. Where do we
Yes.
work?
Oh, are we allowed to say it?
Yeah.
Oh, Specsavers.
Are we allowed to say it?
It's a download.
Put it on the download because we're a bit chat. We don't want to like... I'm joking. So yeah, do you remember your first impression of me?
I do. It was the day that I was going in for my interview. And I'll never forget. I remember I walked in and it was just this girl with long hair just staring at me. And I was like, oh, she's a bit odd.
Your first impression was correct.
A bit chat.
Yeah.
And like I went in and did my interview and as I walked out, she was like, bye. I'm like, bye.
Bye.
You didn't get the job. Bye.
Sam's like, bye. I'm like, bye.
Did
But
she
like still
interview-
staring.
Did she?
No.
Okay. No.
At that time, I think you were still new as well to the store.
To the store, yeah.
Yeah.
I was... Well, you did... 2018 you came.
Yeah.
So you
in
same
June,
year that I
and
did.
I think you had started
I
December
started in...
or something.
I started in February. So
Yeah.
it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
Well, that's when you moved from.
That's when I
the
moved from
previous store.
Campbelltown.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
And then I think, yeah, I didn't have any... I wasn't supervisor yet. I wasn't like... I was just... I don't think I was even full-time yet. I was...
No, you weren't. You
I
started
was
full time later.
either casual or part-time.
I think it was part time.
I think I was part-time.
But you had like long hair.
I had really long hair back then, hey. Yeah, I feel like we've really, like our friendship definitely wasn't like it was before.
No.
I think recently,
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
2020 was when it like really, really got...
Yeah, I think
Work.
2020 is when we moved from being like colleagues to being like, okay, she's a
Yeah.
friend.
Well, it took you guys 2 years.
No, I think it's hard to explain. Like, I think it's always been there, but when we were just like, oh, okay, now I've realized like it's not a colleague anymore;
Yeah.
it's a friend now.
Because when we started to get along really well was when we realized like, because you're... How old are you again?
I'm 28.
28, so same age as Mirza. And I'm only 24, so
Yeah.
25 this year, so I thought there was like a big age gap, but you were surprised by how much shit that I knew. Like she would reference things from like Full House.
Full
or
House.
I think what really did it was Fresh Prince.
Yes.
Yeah. We'd say
She
the
knew
weirdest quotes.
No, she knew the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme song, and I was
Yeah.
like, she's my girl.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I need to know. If you know a word for word, we're in.
Yeah. And we started playing
Yeah.
music now at the store. We got the license. And then I'm like,
Nice.
I cued Fresh Prince, and then when it started playing, she looked straight at me, and I'm like, "That's right." And then everyone else is like, "What are these girls rapping on about? Like, what is going on?" Yeah. But yeah, other than that,
What do you guys do outside of work?
Usually some kind of food. We're just
It's
But
always
because,
food.
like Sam said, I am a little bit older than the guys. Most of the guys are about Sam's age, even younger. So I'm the only one that's like married and stuff. So I don't get to hang out as much with them after work and things like that, just because that girl's gotta go feed your man.
She's a wife.
She's wife.
Yeah.
So, but when we do, it's usually food.
You've had a getty at yours,
Yeah.
and that was really fun. We brought like a
Bloody
dish
getty,
of our
love it.
own.
We ate on the floor.
We ate on the floor.
Love that.
And that's when you introduced us to. Fuck, I forgot the name of it.
Cevape.
Cevape. So it's like a Bosnian. Well, you explain it.
Okay, so cevape is just basically, it's like a skinless sausage. Best way to describe it.
Oh, so good.
Skinless sausage, and we eat it with like Turkish roll and like sour cream and onions. It's just a whole thing. I'll get
Yeah.
some.
Yeah.
Yeah, have a getty and we all come.
Going into cevape, that's like a Bosnian
Yeah.
dish here. Well, let's go into your Bosnian background because we're really curious on knowing a bit more. Because I did grow up with a couple of Bosnian mates from high school, but did you guys know any Bosnian people
No.
when you grew up?
Actually, no. No, but I've always gone like every Friday prayer. I'll go to a Bosnian mosque in
Yes.
Penshurst.
Yeah, that's one of it.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of the Bosnians are out in the west, are they? Or like they're kind of scattered everywhere.
A majority are. So, for example, obviously I can't speak for every single Bosnian or things like that, disclaimer. My personal experiences. Like, for example, where my dad is from in Bosnia, his whole street lives in Campbelltown.
Oh, wow.
So when we were all migrating to Australia, we just saw Campbelltown and we're like, that's the one. I don't know why. But
It's like,
so
I like
yeah,
this
like
one.
we kind of like group kind of where you're from, just like what suburb you live. Again, not everyone, but with us.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just spend the table.
That's okay. But so, you didn't grow up in Australia, didn't you?
No.
So you were born.
I was born in Bosnia, 93. Little bit of a history lesson. That was during a war. I was born 93 during the war. And I think my parents left around 94, 95 to Germany. That's where we got our asylum. And then from Germany, we came to Australia in 2000. So your girl's fresh.
Yeah, very fresh. I was
So-
4 years old.
Whereabouts Bosnia is located on the
Okay.
world map?
So on the world map, Bosnia is basically where everyone knows, next to Croatia. Near Croatia, Serbia, Bosnia, that like Eastern
Eastern Europe. Yeah,
Eastern Europe part.
So
Yeah.
you all speak the same language across
Yeah.
those countries, basically.
Like
Is that like
similar-
different
dialects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But we can all understand each other and things
Yeah,
like
that's.
that.
So-
Do you go there often? Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Like on holidays or anything?
Well, since we've moved, since we've been living in Australia, I've probably only been back about 4 times.
Oh, okay.
But that's more so because of like school and work.
Yeah.
Whereas my parents, they try and go every year.
Yeah. I guess it's like us, eh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and like
yeah,
we're
try
like
and go.
this is home for us. So
Yeah. Yeah, true.
When did you start school here? Well, how old were you?
I was 7, and it was like 3 months into moving to no, not even 3 months, less of moving to Australia, and I started in year 1. And I remember my cousin went to the school, so I had like a translator, but it was
So you
not
didn't learn
right.
English
No.
beforehand?
Yeah, English would be
You didn't know
Yeah.
any English?
No, none. So they just kind of, my parents were like, "Are you gonna learn today?"
Yeah.
And like it's so weird because obviously at the time I don't remember like I couldn't understand anyone.
Yeah.
But the memories I have, like I still remember them. Like I remember what a boy said to me in English. Like it's weird that I still remember, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't understand that, but now I'm like, oh,
Now you look
I
back, you remember what they said, and
Yeah,
now you understand.
yeah.
That's so weird.
That's yeah.
Damn. That's like so interesting to think about.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
That
like
is
That is
I
weird.
didn't understand at the time, but now when I think back, I'm like, oh yeah, I have a memory. I know what he said. I remember what we were doing and things like that.
It's like you unlock the memory
Yeah.
or something.
You like level up in your
Level up. Like going back to that past. Like, oh, now I know what he said.
It's like a clue.
That's funny. So you went to school in the Campbelltown area.
I did.
What was that like? Like going into high school and everything. Like,
Yeah,
Did you have other Bosnians or Muslims around you?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So I thought, like, coming into school, I'm just gonna say, oh no, I'm not gonna say what school. It was a in Campbelltown, very small suburb, like, you know, like Preston's is a suburb within like a smaller one, very white, very, very white. And my cousins went to the school, so it was like my cousins, my brother, just us. But in terms of Muslims, I remember there was like one Afghani family. And I think Eid was coming up, and we were like, oh, you know, we won't be here. She goes, me either. And I was like, well, why? She's like, oh, we have a holiday. And I remember drawing like a moon and a star and being like, I hate this.
Stop it! Did you actually? Are you this?
Are you this?
Because I didn't know. Like, I don't
write him
I know it's so naive.
I'm gonna do that next time.
Are you this?
Because I was like, she can't be. She can't be. It's just my family. No other Muslims.
Yeah.
And then I found out she was, and I remember being like, but we weren't friends. She probably thought I was weird.
Yeah, she sent me a moon and a star.
Girl, send me a drawing. I feel so threatened.
And I feel like slit it.
Imagine working and there's like, are you this? Let's get a card out. Are you this?
Oh my god, that's hilarious. So yeah, you were basically kind of the same as us. We kind of grew up with a lot of white students, except for me in high school. And what was like going, like when you started working? I remember you told me before you used to work for like a pet control.
Oh, pest
place.
control.
Pest control. I said
Yeah,
pest
what's
control.
Pet control. Pet control.
Pest control. Pest control.
I've worked 100 jobs. Like, I've worked everywhere. But yeah, pest control was the last one. Do you want me to tell a story?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
About the body?
What? Oh, this is juicy.
so-
Oh, yes.
Okay, so I used to work for a pest control company, and one day a lady called me. And it was my job just to like book your pest control, to like figure out what you need, and I'll send a guy out. And she was like, there's something big in my roof. And I'm like, okay, well, I need like a little bit more. Like wombats and possums are very common. Sorry, not wombats, possums, very common in roofs. And she was like, no, it sounds bigger. And I was like, ma'am, I don't. She was like, no, I can hear it walking. I'm like, okay. She goes like very loud steps. And I'm like, I'm just going to put you on hold for a moment. I put her on hold, and I was like to my manager, I'm like, I think this woman's trying to tell me that there's a person in her roof.
Oh my god.
Come exterminate it for me.
And my manager was so confused. She's like, surely not. I'm like, no, like, she's not. She's like hesitant. Because I keep saying, like, no, like, you know, is it an animal? Do you think it's a big animal, small animal? She's like, no animal. And I'm like, she's being hesitant.
Yeah.
So I got back on the phone. I was like, ma'am, can you know, like, I just need a little bit more. She was like, I think there's somebody living in my roof. And I was like, God, ma'am, you need to call the police.
I love how she called you guys.
I was like, what do you want me to do?
Go away.
I'm like, we're pest control. You need to call the police.
Yeah, that's so odd.
It was a possum. I sent someone out.
Oh my god.
I had to send someone out. She was like, no. I'm like, lady, I can't kill them. Like, pest control, not
Yeah.
like people control.
Yeah.
Who would think so? Like, I've got a human in my roof. Let's call pest control. Like, who?
And she was dead serious. Like, I sent someone out there. It was a possum.
Was she Asian? No. Okay,
Was she
sorry.
Asian?
I just assumed
That
that
was
Asian.
Asian.
Like, sorry.
Was she
It
Asian?
sounds like an Asian thing. Someone would do that.
It's like something. It sounds like something you would do. Is
Yeah.
that what you're trying to say?
No.
No.
I get a phone call.
Yeah.
Oh,
my
someone's in the room. Side story.
That's really interesting side story.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say something about a dead body.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I thought.
No,
Dead
but
body.
this woman kept carrying on. Like, she was just like, there's footprints and banging. And I was like, lady, please.
Lady, please.
There's not much I could do for you. If it was a dead body.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that would be crazy.
Jeez.
Yeah. So you were saying when you came here from Bosnia, did you have other family members growing up like that came from Bosnia, like cousins?
Yeah, do you have
and
cousins? Yeah.
I have, so they're not cousins by blood. It's what we call like cousins by marriage. So
Oh, okay.
like I still wouldn't marry them. So I've got them. My my brother and I don't actually have any first cousins. Like, I know that's very wild, being like immigrants, like wogs and stuff. We're the only two on both sides. We don't have any cousins, just me and him. We have like obviously like second cousins and things like that. But here, yeah, it's just like cousins through marriage or like people that we've known long enough to call cousins.
Yeah.
But no like actual, oh, no, I'm lying. There is, I think, maybe 2 or 3 actual blood relatives here, but no like direct. Yeah.
Is that because they're all in Bosnia or?
Yes. So majority of my family is spread out across Bosnia and Germany, Austria.
Yeah.
That's where the majority of them are.
Okay. Yeah. You were telling me about how your grandmother has a house on a hill, and you always love like visiting there because like you can see like the stars and you can see the city from there and everything like that.
Awesome.
My nan, my mum grew up in like a village of Bosnia, and the villages are in mountains. So like high mountains, and Nan's village is on top of a mountain. And it's very common for them to have more than 2-story houses. So there's like basements, floor, second and third usually.
Yeah.
So I was told Sam like, oh, standing at the 3rd level balcony and looking out, like the stars, you can touch them. Like they're so close. You look down, you can see like all the other villages in the valley.
Damn, that's so pretty.
That's so
It's a dream.
cool.
So would you say that Nan's your favourite place in Bosnia, or do you have some other special gems that you want to mention?
No, Nan's house is my favourite.
Oh, really?
The village through and through is my favourite.
Yeah. I that's what I love about going back to Indonesia as well, because like you get to visit the village areas and like you don't see nature like how you'd see here, because obviously we live here where it's more like a suburban area with buildings and shit, so when you're going back you see those mountains, you see the stars, and then there's no light pollution and
no light pollution. They've got like little glow bugs where their butts glow.
oh my god, you got glow bugs.
That's so cool.
Are they like fireflies? Do they
Fireflies,
fly?
sorry.
Oh,
Glow bugs.
glow
We know what you're
bugs
talking about,
glow.
anyways.
Yeah, I'm like, you know.
That's so cool.
Cut
You
that
can
out.
like catch them in a jar
Yeah,
and stuff.
they actually have them like, I don't know, it's so different. Growing up there and here, obviously when we'd go back there, we had more freedom because mum and dad was like felt safe. They were back home. So we would like, the kids over there would play at like a little primary school. That primary school like a 40-minute walk. My mum was like, go.
Oh my god.
Be free.
And we really were free. And I think that's why we loved Bosnia, because we truly like, we saw our parents at their best.
Yeah, right.
So then-
at their home.
Yeah, like their happiest and things like that. So Bosnia all around, 10 out of 10. Would recommend.
I would recommend.
Yeah,
Love that.
would
What are
definitely
like the
recommend.
top like attractions that everyone always goes to when they go to Bosnia?
I think Bosnia's just recently really come into its tourism. So although, if I could say, like, go visit all of Bosnia if you can, but I think right now it's our capital city, Sarajevo. I haven't been in a very long time, but from what I know is we're getting a lot of people from like the Arab countries
Okay.
coming and living there and things like that. Sarajevo and Mostar, the bridge. I've showed Sam the bridge before. Mostar, I mean, I'm sure there's 110 other things.
It's like that bridge. Do they jump off to like claim their manhood or something? Is that what it is?
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
It's like how many meters? Like 20? Oh shit.
Yeah, it's something very, very high.
That's crazy.
It's insane. It's like it takes like you can count 2 seconds in your head of them like falling, like free falling. But let me just have a quick look here.
And like we've just got like
Oh yeah, I think I've seen
valleys
videos.
and rivers.
Yeah, 20 meters. Oh my god, I got it right.
Very nature.
Yeah, it's very, very nature.
That's good.
Jeez.
I assume the air's clean over there.
Show them a photo so they know.
Oh, I'll bring up a photo right.
Right now.
They'll keep slideshowing to all these famous places that you just mentioned. Is there any places that you think are underrated that you just like nobody knows about? There's no tourists or anything, but you just absolutely love.
My nan's house.
My nan's
My dad's
house. This is her address.
Nan's whole village. You guys want to go apple picking? We can do some potatoes.
Oh my god, that's so cute.
It's a whole tourism thing.
my God.
Yeah. You know, my nan's It's a tourist attraction.
You know what? That reminds me of my grandfather's. Well, it was my grandfather's house, where we have like sugar canes, so you'd like cut them down and just chew them straight away, and we'd have like durian trees and everything there. So, man, that's a dream. I want to retire and just go back to the home country and just like live a farm life. You know, you don't have to worry about anything.
No. And money so good because everything's dirt cheap.
Yeah. Ooh, do you guys have like street foods and like staple foods that you love?
Not necessarily like street foods. We don't have really like street vendors. Maybe like an ice cream cart, just the usual that you see around, but nothing like no like specialty or anything. What was the question?
Like dishes, like
dishes, yes. So I don't want to say it's just ours. It's people from former Yugoslavia. So before Bosnia was Bosnia, we were Yugoslavia along with a whole bunch of other countries. So I don't want to just say it's not just ours. It's former like Yugoslavia's. We've got burek. But our food is also very heavily Turkish influenced as well. So burek, cevape, like different kinds of stews and soup. Mainly that's our food, like poor people food. Like that's the best way.
It is the best.
Yeah, it's the best, but it's poor people food. Like all our ingredients are like meat, flour, water, and we make meals out of it. So
that's like a pisang goreng, which is fried bananas, and like cow tongue satay.
Yeah,
because it's like the wasteful parts of the animal, but we make it so yummy. Like it's one of my favorite dishes.
Yeah, like we eat everything, chicken hearts and like all that.
What would be your favorite dish?
My favorite.
This is always the hardest for us.
It's called something different, like depending where you're from in Bosnia. But where I'm from, it's called kulake. I think it's called klempe if you're from different parts of Bosnia, Yugoslavia, whatever. Mine is kulake, and it's basically just like it's almost like a dumpling. So it's like a pastry that we fill with like chicken and onion. My mum does it with chicken. Everyone does it differently. Beef, turkey, whatever. Mum does it with chicken. And it gets like folded over and then you drop it in boiling water, cook it.
So they're small?
Yeah, they're like, everyone's different. Mum makes them pretty decent.
Yeah.
We're all fat cunts. And it looks like little dumplings. You drop it in boiling water. When it's done, you literally just add sour cream. All of our food is just add sour cream.
That's like manta in Turkish.
Yes,
they put like a sour cream yogurt kind of thing. And
very,
they
very
fill it
similar
with,
to manta.
Yeah. Oh, I love that shit. Oh, I need to try that.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
Yeah, but like, see,
you guys love your sour cream, eh?
Everything's sour cream.
Oh, it sounds weird, but she was like, trust me. And then she prepared the cevape for me. And everyone's like, oh, okay, we'll try it. And I took like a bite of it. And I think like the week after that, Lynn, one of our optometrists, is like, so where do you get your cevape from?
I just want to say that the ones at Woolies are not the ones we eat.
Oh, promote!
They're not good. My father-in-law does.
There you go.
He makes them from
Sam's
scratch.
dad, yeah?
Sam's dad makes them. And they're the best, hands
Apparently
down.
they're the most famous
they are
cevape in like this area.
The style he makes is it's from a city. It's called Banja Luka, the city, and it's a style of how they make it. Basically, cevaps usually are single, but we make them 4 little ones stuck together. That's it.
It's like blocks.
Yeah,
it's so satisfying because like
so
when you buy them, they're kind of like frozen, and it's like a chocolate Cadbury block. You just you snap it off.
Snap off how much you want,
and then when you cook it on, it like starts to separate. Oh man, now I'm craving it.
I want some.
Shit. Next time,
100%.
Well, I was actually about to visit Bosnia this year, last year, if it wasn't for COVID, because I was gonna go into Croatia and then visit the Mostar Bridge, which I'm really bummed out about. But when this whole thing blows over, definitely go. But as I was saying, with like, it just reminds me of going back to my grandfather's place, and there's kind of differences and similarities. How going into our religion with Islam, we share different cultures depending on like how Islam is here versus how Islam is in Middle East. How would you describe like the culture of Islam there?
Yeah, again, disclaimer, my personal experience. I don't want to say that this was like every Bosnian growing up or anything like that. But where I was from more specifically, it was like, I know this is bad to say, but like I hadn't seen a covered woman in Bosnia probably till I was like a lot older in life. It's not. I'm gonna get bashed by the like community. We are very cultural people. Our religion is definitely there, and we do, again, my family, I'm not speaking for everyone when I say this, we hold religion and culture and they almost clash because we don't know how to separate the two. We obviously know what right from wrong, but it's always like, oh, but we're Bosnian, so it's fine. I guess that's, like...
Do you know the history of how Islam came to Bosnia?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not sure in like the years and things like that. I just know that before we were Muslim, we had our own religion called Church of Bosnia, and then the Ottomans came and did their thing.
Oh, shit.
Here we are.
Yeah. So understandable, because none of the Bosnians that I knew from school, some of them, I think a couple of them were, but yeah, the friends that I was close with was that, and I always thought like, with the people that I met throughout my life, like they're very cultured, not cultured, cultural, like to Bosnia.
Yeah.
Like, that's the priority.
Yeah, like we definitely still listen to Bosnian music. It's very common. Even the younger kids, we all listen to Bosnian music.
Yeah,
You saw, I watch my little Bosnian reality TV shows.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I've always known, because like for example with Mirza, he doesn't know how to speak Indonesian, like Bahasa, but every Bosnian that I've met, like from a young age, they know how to speak fluent.
Yeah, and we do. Like, I've got to praise that. We really do keep our language, like, going through the generations.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, no, that is good. How would you guys decide? I feel like the Indonesian culture is a Islamic culture, like it's become one. Because I think it's just been so present in our country for so long, and we are the highest percentage of Muslims in a country, even more than any Middle Eastern country, which is crazy to think of.
And surprisingly, a lot of people don't even know that.
I was gonna say that.
Like, people just think Muzi and then like
Middle East.
Saudi Arabia.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Wait, I wanted to ask, how did you guys find out you were both Muzi? Did you like?
How did we find out?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
You don't remember?
I think it was around Eid, because Ashanti's coat. I just remember Ashanti having the red coat, and that's when I had just started working.
Yes.
I'm going to assume it had probably something to do with Eid or...
No, because I took the day off for Eid, but you didn't. You were working.
Oh, yeah, because it was the second Eid.
Yes.
I know what it's called, but
it's the other Eid. I don't know either. What do you
the second Eid. I wouldn't know as the second Eid.
I know the name, like I can write it, but I'm not going to try and say it.
Is it this one?
Is it Moonstar version 2?
Moonstar did I write 2.0?
Oh my god.
Well, the Ramadan V2. I brought Ashanti along. And that was the first time that you met Ashanti, and she was like in a little red coat. She was only like about one.
She was
at the time.
very
She was
little.
very young.
She was tiny.
And then you were like, I think you asked like, oh, why'd you take that day off or something? And I'm like, oh, it's because of Eid. And then we didn't know.
Yeah.
I think we only found out on the second, the Eid al-Adha. I'm going to just say it in
Yeah,
English. That's the only way I know how to say it. But yeah, I think that was when we found out. I don't know. I don't really have a memory of it. But...
Me either. It could be possibly, maybe we knew I was Muslim, if I would have told you I was Bosnian. Because you went to school with Bosnians.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that could have also... I don't know if it was something that we ever addressed.
Yeah, I feel like we found out when Ramadan came.
Yeah, I know we found out.
Yeah.
And because you were like... Because I was like, why do you have it off? She's like, why don't you? And I'm like, does anybody take it off for the second one?
Yeah. No, my family's the type that like all of us celebrate every holiday, Islamic holiday. But for Ramadan and Eid, do you guys do like a big thing as well? Like, is it mainly just the feasting, like what most people
But what
do?
do you guys do for Ramadan?
We feast. We pray,
We
and then
pray
we spend the
first.
whole
And then
day.
We go to
feasting.
people's houses, to
Yeah.
feast,
Do you get money or anything
No.
for Eid?
When we were younger.
For Eid,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did you ever get money?
Oh, maybe like once, but I didn't really.
Did you have to do any like do anything to get that money? Like
No.
no, okay.
No, our aunties and uncles just be like, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
we
they
did.
didn't ask, did you fast 30 days?
Oh,
Could've been like-
see, we had to kiss their hand and put it to our forehead.
Oh,
That's
we
how
do.
we
sorry.
address
Oh, that's
old
so cool.
elders.
That's what too. We
Yeah.
do. Well, I know for me, like with my parents, I always like ask for their forgiveness, and even actually when we see like family friends after prayer, that's usually what we say. Like,
Yeah.
we say in Indonesian, like, "Oh, forgive me for anything I've done wrong."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually find it funny that it always takes us a while, like even with Sky.
Yeah.
Because she
Oh,
was
yeah.
here
Oh,
previously
yes,
in the
Sky.
podcast. Like, it just always takes us a little bit longer to figure out, like, hey, are you Muslim?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we don't look Muslim.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, and our names aren't.
What?
Sorry, nothing.
You asked if I did a fart.
No. Sorry. We were just saying we had that experience recently too.
Oh,
Of
really?
not knowing, like a work colleague. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think.
you were
Yeah, I
saying.
think because, like you said, like we're not what the world thinks Muslims just are.
Yeah,
We're not
yeah.
like Middle Eastern or African or. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think you don't want to make that assumption and just be like, okay, you're Muslim.
Yeah.
So, and of course, I'm not someone that's shy either, though. It's not like I'm not telling you because I don't want you to know. So I'm like, well, if you don't need to know, it's not going to change
Yeah.
anything. So unless
It's like
you
you
ask.
walk in your interview, it's like, I'm Muslim. I'm Muslim.
Yeah. Are you this?
You should just wear it on your shirt. I'm this.
I was.
Tattoo it on your head.
Yeah. Well, no, but that's the thing. When people are like, you don't look Muslim, and I'm like, sorry.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I'm like, am I missing my sign?
Yeah.
My camel?
Yeah.
Missing? Like, yeah, like what should I be looking like?
That is true.
That's really funny though, because the what's it called? The stigma of being Muslim is like being, especially for a woman, being covered, or for a man having a big beard. And,
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
no, that's not all of us.
We
You
come in
know.
all colours and shapes.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly. Shapes, sizes,
Yeah.
and colours. So you were saying before, you were saying it to me before, like when you were talking about it, but being a white Muslim is a little bit different. How would you can you expand on that for us?
So, I don't know. I feel like people, or if people do find out I'm Muslim or something, they're always like, oh, but it's okay because you're white. And I'm like, yeah, but that's not okay because my brother or sister in Islam who isn't white, are they going to get that same treatment? Like, do they get, oh, it's okay? Like, you know what I mean? I don't, and I think it's always been like that. I've had, even growing up, like I'd have friends say something that's definitely not okay, like it's a little bit borderline like racist or something, and I'd be like, dude, what the hell? And they'd be like, oh no, but not you. And I'm like, but why not me?
Yeah.
Like, because I don't look like the person that you're making a comment about, or yeah. So I don't know. I don't want to say that it was like because I'm white. I think it's just because I don't look like what. I don't want to say I'm not Middle Eastern or I'm not Asian. I'm white. And I feel like that's, unfortunately, that's what people are like, oh, well then that's okay. She's still like us. But I feel like if I still looked the way I looked and put a hijab on, I'm not white anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's really strange when you put it into perspective like that.
Yeah.
You were also talking about an experience that you had on the beach with someone.
So, well, you guys, I don't know if you can see me, but like I'm not dark, I'm not light. I could probably pass as either and or. But my husband, blonde hair, blue eyes. Like I have a blonde hair, blue eyes.
Yeah.
But he has a beard. So again, sometimes that's kind of where people are like, oh, okay, he's Muslim because of the beard. But anyway, we're at the beach and my husband, we're both like very bogans, very Aussie. And I remember he was wearing just his board shorts and a big Bunnings like rim hat.
I love that. Yeah.
Like, yeah. I'm just like white guy. Big Bunnings hat. And I was, wearing my like bikini, my little dress. not covered
Yeah.
up too much. Yeah, so, and I remember we were walking down to the beach, and there was it's a beach where it's just more of a rock pool, and there was a whole group of just people swimming in that pool, and like you could tell that group was also like situated on like a picnic area. A big group. They were swimming, they looked like they were being respectful, they were like keeping to themselves, and you could see this just by walking. So we haven't even entered like the territory. You could just see that they were just being respectful, keeping to themselves. And as we were walking down, I'll never forget this man who, again, is darker than me. And this has nothing to, like, I don't care about the color of your skin but it's just that I was like, I couldn't believe that, like, how did this play out in your head? So he's just like a heavily tanned man, not dark, just heavily tanned man. So you could tell he was definitely some kind of like Mediterranean, maybe even European. And he walks up to us, and in the thickest accent,
Like
goes,
ethnic accent?
but I was like, you have an accent, like, how dare you? He was like, he was like, look at them down there. It was women who were wearing like the Islamic swimming.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if anyone's ever seen that, but it's usually like a latex
Yeah.
surf suit and like a hijab or some kind of head covering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like, look at them. And I remember I was in shock because I was like, I don't know what he wants me to look at. And I remember both Sam and me just went, like, what? And
So he literally said it just directly to you.
he
and
walked
your
up to
husband.
us, like, wasn't like, walked up to us, spotted us and walked up to us.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, look at them. They're going to be taking over or something like that. He's something along those lines. And I remember just looking at him and I was like, they're not bothering anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, I'm telling you, one day you'll see. And like walked away. And I remember being in like complete shock.
Wow.
I was like, the more you know, I'm like, this man with an accent came up to me who at least I don't think I have an accent. Like, I think I sound pretty bogan, maybe a slight accent. But I'm like, he came up to me to discriminate against someone else without knowing that the people who discriminate against, we are.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, how can you, like, where did you get that confidence as a human to go up to another human and, like, say or comment on someone else? That's what got to me, where I was like, do I look like someone where you think you can come and say that to me? And that's what really got me. I was like, he thought that, like, we were white and that he could just come and say that to us. And I remember being like, but he had an accent. Like, I could have turned around and been like, he doesn't know if I'm Bosnian, my name is Irma. I could have been like, my name's Jessica, and you go back to where you came from because of your accent. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like it sounded like he was insecure with himself to go to a point to compensate and be like, hey, there's these white folks. I'm gonna, I'm gonna prove
Watch
that
me look
I'm
like a
on your
true
side.
blue or
Like,
something.
like a true
Yeah,
Aussie. I belong in this
yeah.
country. So you're trying to put other people down from another culture so that you can try and make yourself feel secure.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
so bad.
I just couldn't wrap my head around it. I'm like, how did he not know that I truly wasn't the most racist person ever? And I turned around and been like, bro, you and them can all go back. Realistically, like, I remember me and my husband were just so shocked that someone just thought that it's okay to go up to strangers and
Yeah.
You should have
comment.
just gone to the sand, drew a moon and a star.
I'd be like, I should have got the paper and
None for you.
Fucking hell. No, it's crazy because I haven't said this story on the podcast yet, but I'll just try and keep it short about this guy who was complaining about the pricing of glasses, and I was trying to compensate and be like, look, I can do good deals for you. If we choose this frame, I can do this discount, blah blah blah. And I was really trying to help him, and by the end of it, he was just fed up, and he's like, oh, I don't want to buy these anymore. Like, I'm really disappointed with the service. And I'm just like, what the hell? Like, this guy's just being angry. Like, he couldn't, like, hack the fact that he couldn't get a better discount. And I'm like, mate, you're not going to get a better discount anywhere else. So he's like, I want my Medicare money back. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I know that you guys got paid by Medicare for my eye test, so I want that money back. And I'm like, that shouldn't concern you. This is a free consultation. Like, you should be like grateful that you live in a country that pays for your medical bills and
bulk
everything.
bill, just to
We
clarify.
bulk bill. Yeah, we bulk bill our eye test. So for those who don't live in Australia, bulk billing basically just means that our government pays for our consultations. So we go to the doctors for free. We get our eye tests for free. And this ungrateful little bastard is like, I want my money back. It's like, it's not your money to begin with. So I was just telling him like, look, you live in a country where like people pay for your consultation. He's like, and then I'm like, you should be, like, we're all lucky here. And he's like, I'm lucky. You should be lucky. And that's like, oh man. As soon as he said that, I stood up and I'm like, I'm not taking this anymore. You need to leave. I'm refusing service from to you. Like, I'm not serving you anymore. You need to leave the store right now. He's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, no, you know what I mean. You know what you said. So you're leaving the store right now. And then he even got to a point where he's like, I want to see the manager. And I'm like, I am the manager. He's
that
like,
was
no,
my
you're not.
favorite. That was my favorite. I'm the manager.
And at this point, we were like raising our voices. So everyone in the store was just like, I could see my colleagues were serving other customers and they were kind of like looking
Yeah.
around,
We were like,
Oh, were you
trying
there
to
when
still
it was-
continue to talk to their customers, being like, oh God, what's happening? Sorry, I forgot something. He said, I should be lucky. I was born here.
Yeah.
You should be lucky. That's what he said.
He said that.
So he assumed that I wasn't born here.
And he genuinely didn't know what he did wrong. Because I remember when Sam was fed up, she was done. She just walked away
I
from
walked
him.
away. I was in the back room.
And then
already.
I was like, I'm like, she's the manager and she's told you to leave. She ain't the manager.
We
all lied.
Yeah.
No, but Sam is our supervisor. So
Supervisor,
at that
yeah.
time, yes, she was. She was in charge. And I was like, so if she's asked you to leave, you need to leave. And he was like, I haven't done anything, rah. And I'm like,
Excuse me.
You
No,
didn't know at that time though.
no,
what he
I
said.
didn't know. I still hadn't known. I didn't know what he had said because I was helping one of my other colleagues with something in their patient. And I remember I looked up just as you were like, I am the manager. And you basically walked away. And I was like, alright, she's the manager. Just go let him know.
She's the manager, so you need to leave.
Yeah, so I was like, so if my manager's asked you to leave, like I need you to leave.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm not leaving. I've done nothing wrong. And I'm like, you are, bud. Like, you just need to leave. Because I wasn't like, you just go.
Yeah.
Like, we're not
At this
having
point,
this.
Teresa was having lunch and she took the time to come out because I already told her the situation. She came out, she printed out his paperwork. It's like, here, take your paperwork
Yeah,
and go.
because he was like...
Because she was fired up as well because I had told her what happened.
Yeah, because I was like, no, you need to leave. I'm like, I don't appreciate the way you spoke to her. He was like, I don't appreciate the way she spoke to me. And I'm like, okay. Mind you, I still don't know what's happening. So
That just shows you're such a nice guy.
I'm like, just go. Like, no one wants to deal with you.
Yeah.
Just go. And the thing is, Sam is great. She's definitely grown in her role. Her authority's grown. We're all like, yes, Sam. Like, don't let them get discounts off of you. Be firm. Like, Sam really has. Like, she's definitely come through. She's very strong now. Like, realistically, Sam 2 years ago dealing with that man would have cried
Yeah,
at that
I would
table. You would have, like,
That would have been
flat
me.
out.
That's me.
Which I
Right.
have once. I've had a man scream
Yeah.
at me and I went to a point where I shut down and I started shaking visibly and I couldn't get my words out. And I was so angry at myself after that.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, I wish I had like more of a firm grip on the situation. And this time I was like, I'm not going to let this go. This has gone to a point where he's being racist.
Yeah.
He's looking at me as an Asian person, and majority of the people that work here, because he was already rude to my Asian optometrist. He was rude to my other Asian colleagues the day before because he came a day before. And then they already warned me about this guy. It's like, this guy is just really rude. And when he said that, it clicked. He's like, okay, it's the fact that he's being served by all these racist.
So far, what is racist?
all these Asian colleagues. I'm like, I gotta stand up for this store. So, yeah. Funnily enough, we just remembered, what the hell? That Irma is also part of the I Work with Mirza Club. So if you have been catching up, like, it's hilarious how so many of our guests or people that we know have worked with this guy. It's just like a cigarette being passed around, you know?
Cigarette.
Yeah, so do you guys remember your
I
first meeting?
very vaguely remember. Like, I remember thinking you were lovely and all that. But I remember one of our first topics was about energies and things like that.
Oh my god, of course.
And you were like,
bloody hell, Mirza.
Energies? I don't remember this.
or like, I just remember you telling me being like, because we were talking about, damn it, I do.
I think I remember you were like, oh, you got some good vibes and like
Yes,
I can
we
get
were
along.
talking about someone specific. I can't remember who, nor do I think we share that opinion about that person anymore, so it's not important. We were just talking about someone, we're just like, oh, their vibes are bad, whatever, I'm just not getting good vibes. Like, and I was saying, like, I'm very big on vibes. And Mirza was like, I see green.
Oh,
And I'm
sounds-
like, what? And
Wait,
then
did I say that?
you explained to me how, like, you see the colours, like the
Yes,
aura and
yeah,
things. And I was
yeah.
like,
Where was I?
Where were you?
you were
I
there. You were on
was
holiday. You went back
That's
home.
hilarious.
I think you were. Yeah.
So you covered for me.
I think I did.
I think so. I really think so. You weren't working with us because I remember you came back and you were like, "How was it?" And I was like, "I loved him. It was great." Like,
okay, you know what? It's starting to.
and
come
I
back.
and I just remember you were like, "Oh," you were just telling me how like, "Oh, I see people's like auras and colors," and I was like, "Yes." Like,
Yes.
my type of person.
I say green.
Yeah.
Like, my type of
I don't remember saying that to you.
I
I don't remember at all.
Bloody hell. man.
Yeah.
I just remember we just got along. Our humor was the same.
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
just
easy to get on.
That's pretty much it, really.
Very raw humor. I think
Yeah.
that's what it is. Like
Yeah.
just being really chat.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
much. Yeah. But yeah, let's wrap it up with the usual word of the day, which I can't think. What is it again?
I think it's uller.
Is it uller? That's
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
thought
yeah.
as well. Uller. Uller.
Do you want me to search it up just in case?
No.
It's definitely uller. It's definitely uller because I was getting it confused with uller bulu. Like uller bulu.
I'm like,
what is that? I don't know.
I was getting clarification.
Which uller bulu is something else. And then there's also chaching, which is something else as well.
No,
So,
they're like
it's-
caterpillars, worms.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Is it uller?
Yeah.
yeah.
Uller.
Ula.
Ulla.
Uller.
So Mirza knows
Yeah.
what that means. How would you? Oh wait, we didn't even say what it is.
Yeah.
Snake. Snake.
Keep them guessing. Yeah.
And then let's translate it in Bosnian.
Zmija.
Izmir.
Zmija, sorry.
Esmir.
Zmija.
meant the name
Zmija.
Esmir.
No, that's my dad's name too. Sam's met my dad, can I just say?
Wait
Can
a
you
minute.
tell them?
Wait a minute. Oh yeah, no, like because my dad is like so cute because like he's the type to like be really is he a bit like quiet and
Yes,
shy
my dad's
around
just, I feel
people?
like, just like your typical dad. Like, he's not shy, he's just quiet. He's a man of few words. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He's
yeah.
like,
Anyway, you get it from.
yeah. He's like, I'm not here for like a long time, I'm just here for a good time.
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of man.
So he like came in as I was cooking gyozas. Well, yeah, gyozas
At
for
work?
No, for when
Oh.
at my house.
My dad was just visiting, and I was like, guys, my dad's just gonna be hanging around.
And I think like he came over to me as I was cooking and it was just us two in the kitchen. Everyone else was like doing something else. He's like, "Oh, you're making gyoza." I'm like, "Oh, this culture man."
And then when I came in, I was like, Sam, did my dad talk to you?
Yeah.
She's like, yeah.
I was like, "Yeah." What did he say? What did he do?
No, but I was surprised
Yeah.
that my dad actually knew what they were. Like,
Yeah.
Good on him.
I thought, but to be fair, they did introduce us to like Asian cuisine and all that. It was my parents.
Yeah.
They used
Yeah.
to make homemade sushi. Can you
Wow.
imagine
Wow.
Bosnian homemade
Yeah,
sushi?
that's
I
so
love that.
cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even make sushi.
No, my parents truly were like growing up. They tried to be like very cultural with us, and
That's really good.
they were very like, you know, we follow our religion and we love and respect our religion, but we also love and respect everyone else's.
Yes.
And I think that's where like my like free hippie spirit comes from. Just my parents letting us be
That's great.
Yeah.
happy.
That is
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, yeah. Well, where did we
Zmija.
get?
I
Where
don't
did we?
know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, how do you say it again?
Zmija.
Zmija.
Zmija. Zmija. I
Zmija.
can't say that one.
Well, the reason
Love
why snake is the word of the day is because it's a running thing at work. Well, she introduced it.
Yeah.
Where one day she just started calling us a bunch of snakes.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, you're a snake, you're a snake, you're
Yeah,
a
I
snake.
looked at it, I'm like, what's up, snakes?
We'll be
so
like,
funny.
Queen Snake is here.
Queen Snake.
So she's the Queen Snake.
Yeah.
Even to a point where
Severus.
we've got...
Wait, Severus. Wait, I'm not calling you Severus. I'm not calling you Severus.
What?
I'm going home.
Damn!
I said Severus. Anyway.
Severus. Oh. Snape. But yeah, even your locker... because we
Is it a snake?
print out locker photos with our names, and it's a Gucci snake. So
Oh,
it's a snake.
love that.
Gucci
Gotta
snake.
be the Gooch, yeah.
It's
The Gucci. Sorry, I like to shorten everything and I don't think
Yeah,
about
she does.
Oh, my dog's name is Gucci, and sometimes we call her Gooch. And we need to stop yelling Gooch.
Gooch. Well, at least you don't have a bloody pet that's called Shampoo. You should just call him Champ. Champ. Or Poo.
Poo-poo.
Do you know that?
I think I've heard
I
about
think
it
I
in
mentioned it to you.
podcasts as well, but
Oh, I feel like I
I
mentioned
think
that
you
at
guys
work.
have talked about it in podcasts as well, but
There you go.
oh, that's the
Oh,
best.
but yeah, snake. So
snake.
next time you see one of your loved ones, especially your mom, just be like, "Hey, snake!" No, I'm
Don't do
joking.
snake.
It's like, "Hey, snake! It's the hijab for me."
Not again. No.
Hey, snake is a jump.
Basically, is how you want to use that term.
Yeah, it's even to a point where you know how to say it in Vietnamese as well because of Teresa.
Yeah.
How do you say it again?
Mê la con rong.
Whoa. Melakongong.
Mê la con rong.
Is that you're a snake? Like
Yes.
a full sentence?
Yes.
Mela.
I'm not feeling
Mela
me.
con-
Doing this. Every single person is like, no. That's not what she's saying.
You're saying something completely different.
I think I'm saying it right, but it's Mê la con rong.
Mela gong rang. What a snake.
What a snake.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
There you go. It's
Awesome.
very, very weird.
Informative word.
Informative word. But yeah, no, thank you so much, Irma, for coming on to
Thank
our
you so
episode.
much.
For having me.
Thank
It
you.
was fun.
I hope you did have fun, and I hope
did.
you weren't too nervous. But like, it gets better.
You're
throughout
really
the
good at
episode, right?
conversating with.
Yeah, very good.
Conversating.
Yeah,
Conversating.
the vibe, the green aura. I
The
just-
green aura.
Snake aura.
See, we were just meant to be here.
But yeah, this little snake here has taken her time after work to come here for us. So thank you so much for
After a
coming
big
on.
night.
After a
After a
big,
big
night,
night.
this chick slept at 4 a.m. So
Wow.
yeah, no, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Again, guys, to you listeners and watchers out there, subscribe to our YouTube channel, subscribe to our Spotify, and listen to us on Apple or Google Podcasts if you follow those platforms. But anyway, my name is Sam,
My name is Amirza.
and
I'm Irma.
Yay! Guys, bye.
Bye. Be kind.
Take sick.
Yep.
Leave.
Take sick leave. So lame.
Hell, you see what we gotta deal with?
I love it. I love it.